Good morning. My name is Britnee Timberlake. I am the state senator for New Jersey's District 34, representing East Orange, Orange, Bloomfield, Belleville, Nutley, and Glen Ridge. And we are here today making a plea as well as informing people about the unfortunate rise of energy and gas prices. Here in this part of the state, we have PSE&G, which is one of the largest corporations that provide the electricity as well as gas. This is an absolute necessity. We need it in order to power our schools, our vehicles, our homes, to cook our food, for our children to do homework at night, and we have seen increases over the years. This is driving inflation, and people have no other place to turn because this is a monopoly. These corporations have a monopoly on this service that is no longer a luxury as it was back in the days of Thomas Edison. This is an absolute life-sustaining necessity and commodity. The issue is that that commodity is priced too high. And what happens when it's priced too high is people are being pushed out of home ownership opportunities because they can't afford to be able to heat and cool their home, or they're going to be forced to downsize. It's also impacting renters. There used to be a time where landlords had the ability to include the utilities within the rent, but it has reached astronomical prices and has easily become the second or third highest bill in a person's household. We see these increases happening and being uh, approved by New Jersey's BPU against the advice of the Rate Council quite often. And most recently, on June 1st, they're going to be going up on the rates from 17 to 20%. Hardworking families should not have to juggle multiple jobs just to afford life's basic necessities. We know that this commodity is priced too high, and the state of New Jersey, as well as the federal government, actually provides subsidies to programs to help offset the cost to residents who are having a hard time affording their bill. To be clear, we need those programs. However, those are taxpayer dollars being used to subsidize the cost. And that creates an issue because these are publicly traded companies that are making and profiting billions of dollars on Wall Street, while hardworking people are struggling to afford to keep their houses heated as well as cooled. I'm standing here today with the Mayor of Orange, Mr. Dwayne Warren Esquire, to my left, as well as the Council President of Orange, Adrian Wooten, to my right. I also am standing here with Shoshana Page, who's here as a representative for the City of East Orange, Mayor Ted R. Green, and Council. And you're going to hear of some testimonies from Ms. Veronica Scott, an Orange homeowner, as well as Reverend Karina Johnson, an East Orange homeowner, and what this is going to do to our communities. I'd like to say that it is also creating redlining. We know that redlining is a historical tool of oppression that keeps people from the wealth-building tool of home ownership. If people cannot afford to heat and cool their home, how can they afford to be a homeowner and therefore the access to the American dream and therefore have access to the #1 wealth-building tool in the country? We are concerned that these utility rate increases are going to create foreclosures. We are concerned that they are going to create hardship for businesses. We are concerned that these utility rate increases are going to put more families in turmoil. And as a result, I've introduced 8 pieces of legislation and a few others to address these very things. I'm going to have some of our speakers come forward, and then we'll run through those pieces of legislation as a solution, starting with Mayor Dwayne Warren.
Thank you, Senator Timberlake. This issue, as the senator explained, affects all of us all of the time. This is not something you can do without. This is not something that you can avoid paying. You have to have heat, you have to have your home cooled, and you have to have the means from these utility companies in order to do that. This is another Goliath that has come before the people, and we intend to stand up and tell them no, and here's why. Our senior citizens are losing homes, their apartments, and their means to a living each and every day, and a large part of that is from their utility bills. During COVID, there was people staying at home on a regular and daily basis. The utility companies profited from that situation, and now it's time to relieve the homeowners and people who pay any kind of bills to let them have some share of the pie and the profits that have been made by the utility companies. If you look at our businesses on Main Street and throughout our city, you'll see that a portion of their daily output is energy. Whether it be the ovens they use in the restaurants, whether it be the lights, whether it be the heat in the building, all of those things have become too great a cost for our business persons to be able to still sell at a price that's reasonable and affordable so that we can have shoppers shop locally. This PSC&G issue, this energy issue, is affecting us from home ownership all the way through business. And this package of bills, and I wanted to take particular attention to this package of bills because what it'll do is strengthen the voice of the residents. It will direct and forcefully guide the BPU, which is an agency that is not given the kind of oversight, the kind of restrictions that are necessary for everyday citizens. Finally, we have a senator who's willing to stand up for everyday people and have these restrictions done in plain language and in ways that affect us in our pocketbooks. To go from 17%, which was, I believe, was 3% lower than that before, to 17% to another 3% hike. If you look at any of our paychecks, it outpaces our income. It outpaces the level of rent that a building owner can charge. It outpaces anything in the economy. It certainly outpaces interest. And for something that is so needed, for this kind of cost to be foisted upon the people, it is unfair. It should be reconsidered. I urge the BPU right now, before this legislation even starts, to stop this, to go into each and every community, to have hearings and let the people speak about the drastic way that this energy hike is going to hurt them. They can follow the model of Senator Britnee Timberlake, who have people here who are real people, who have real bills, and they have a story to tell about their own increases. So I urge us in the Assembly and the Senate and the governor to look at this package of bills, fast track it, get it signed, return oversight to the people, and before anything happens, to bring all of the rate hikes to the people, get our input. And I believe that if you do, you'll look at their profit margins are not hurting, but you'll affect the lives of everyday people. Thank you.
Council President Adrian Wooten.
Good morning. I stand here today with Senator Britnee N. Timberlake because she is once again doing something for the people, as she's always for the people. It's about legislation, and this is what she does. She does this because of legislation, but she does this because she is a mother. She is a sister. She is an auntie. She is just like you and I. So she does it because it's the right thing to do. So I applaud her with this task that she has taken. But on the municipal level, I ask for the constituents of every city and town to get in touch with your senators, no matter where they are in New Jersey, to get in touch with your congresspeople, your state senators, your federal senators. Call the governor's office to make sure that these bills are put into place. And as again, I applaud Senator Timberlake. She's always on the ground with the people. She has her ears to the people. She knows that this is important, and it is imperative that this package of bills pass. Thank you so much, Senator Timberlake.
Thank you, Council President. And now I'm going to have Ms. Shoshana Page come forward to speak on behalf of Mayor Ted R. Green for the City of East Orange.
Thank you, Senator. Good morning, everyone. My name is Shoshana Page, and I'm the Deputy Chief of Policy and Communication Strategist to the Honorable Ted Green, Mayor of the City of East Orange. Unfortunately, Mayor Green couldn't be with us today due to a conflict. I am here to read a statement on his behalf because this is an issue that he is actively fighting. Let me begin by thanking our great Senator Britnee Timberlake and for her unwavering commitment to the people of New Jersey and for her convening us here today for this important call to action. The sharp and sudden increase in utility rates approved to begin June 1st is more than just a number on a bill. It is a direct assault on working families, seniors on fixed incomes, and everyday residents who are already battling rising food prices, housing costs, and inflation. In East Orange, we do not sit by silently while our communities are priced out of basic human necessities like heat, electricity, and hot water. These utilities are not optional, they are essential. And when public services become private profit, everyone suffers. Senator Timberlake has been a leading voice on this issue, and we are proud to stand with her as she introduces meaningful legislation to rein in this unchecked power and return control directly back to the people. Mayor Ted Green calls for the Board of Utilities to reverse course and urges the legislature to act swiftly to adopt stronger consumer protections. Additionally, Mayor Green challenges every New Jersey resident to join us in this fight because when we raise our collective voice, we cannot be ignored. In East Orange, we believe in government that works for the people. I'm going to repeat that. In East Orange, we believe in government that works for the people. And today, we take a firm stand to protect our residents, defend affordability, and fight for equity in every utility bill. Thank you, and may our actions today here spark the change New Jersey so urgently needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Shoshana. I'm going to call upon Miss Veronica Scott, an Orange homeowner.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning. And thank you to Senator Britnee Timberlake. I stand before you this morning not just as a Orange resident, and I also stand before you as a district leader in the Essex County Democratic Committee. I represent the South Ward in Orange, and I can tell you that the power of the vote is so important. I thank Senator Timberlake for her bills that she is proposing today. I tell you as a resident of Orange that my bills have significantly increased in terms of utilities. I urge all of the citizens in Orange to write to your legislation across the state of New Jersey to say that this increase for BPU is inappropriate and inconsiderate. It will cause a ripple effect, not just on homeowners, but renters, landlords, people that are on a fixed income, such as our elderly, our disabled, our mentally challenged. They will not be able to go to cooling centers in the summer months. Some of them will not have the ability to get out. Some of them will not have any other recourse than to sell their homes, than to stay in unair conditioned apartments and to suffer.
The homeowners are feeling the blunt of this increase. I truly hope that the bill will be passed because there are so many others that are concerned as well as myself. I had a conversation just on yesterday with a dear friend of mine who lives around the corner from me in a larger home than my home. She is also a widow. And so it's not easy. It's not easy. The money just does not flow in for us to be able to pay it out. But I truly hope that this bill will be passed so that we can find a little comfort. Because as it has been stated, not only do we have to deal with the heating in the winter months, but we also have to look forward to the cooling in the summer months. Actually, I brought a few of my bills with me today. Some of the bills that I received from PSC&G, and I hold them over a year because I like to compare. And I can see the difference. And whereby in January, my bill was close to $600. It has come down some, but still $600 a month is a lot for me to have to pay out for one bill when I have other bills that are coming in as well. So I thank you for the opportunity, Senator. And yes, I was on vacation. I was on vacation for a couple of weeks, and when I got my bill, it was still high. Now, how could that possibly be when no one was home? No one was home. No utilities were being used, and yet there was an increase in my monthly statement. So that has to change. It has to change, and we have to do whatever we can do to make sure that these changes come about. I am grateful and thankful to be here today. Just to say a few words, I hope it falls on ears that are open and not on deaf ears, so that this bill will pass and so that we can find some comfort, and particularly not everyone, but in particular for those seniors. I am a senior. I'm a senior and I'm grateful to be a senior, but it's also not easy. So I thank you for this opportunity, Senator. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rev.
Thank you so much, Reverend Johnson and Veronica Scott, for sharing your stories, your personal stories. And we're going to talk about what some of those solutions are. It's a package, a bill package of about 8 to 10 bills. There's some other ones that I've picked up since I introduced the first series of 8. And the first bill is to establish a study to assess the viability of shifting from privately held, Wall Street traded corporations to a publicly managed energy system to promote affordability. I'll give you an example. If you live in a municipality that your water is provided by your local government, and you often open up that water bill, ours comes every quarter, and you look at it and you go, sounds about right. But when you open up your utility bill, and here we have PSE&G, you look at it and you go, this can't be. And the reason for that, I believe, is because of greed, the overcharging of customers, and we'll get to that as well throughout the rest of the bills. But if we are to study what it looks like to take over as a state, providing the energy, the electric and the gas, and removing the privately held companies, I think that's worth studying. The next bill sets energy and utility rates back to 2020 levels. We need the relief. Utility companies, you are profiting billions of dollars on Wall Street. People are working multiple jobs just to be able to walk in their home and turn on the lights. Please set the rates back to 2020 level. And if you don't, we'll pass this bill because it's moving through the legislature. The other is there's 2 bills to cap the rate increase at 2% every 5 years. This will make sure that the BPU cannot just approve a rate increase at the bequest of the utility companies, because I am here to tell you that I've seen behind the veil and I know how it works. The utility companies and the BPU work hand in hand. The BPU is appointed by the commission is appointed by public officials who are elected, and we also know that the utility companies have vast lobbyists throughout the states. It works as a cycle. So we will cap the rate increases at 2% every 5 years. The next bill requires energy companies to fully fund the much needed energy assistance programs directly. And we've heard talk at the federal level about LAHEAP being defunded. We need these programs because our constituents are struggling to pay their bills. Why? Because the cost of the commodity is too high. It's overpriced because of greed. However, since we're here, we need those subsidy programs. But a lot of times those subsidy programs run dry. There are organizations such as La Casa de Don Pedro who actually distribute these funds throughout the community. And I know, because I am an advocate, that got asked to run for office, which is why I stand before you. And I remember having to call around for different people who were coming into our offices needing help. And we would have to call to several different nonprofits to see who still had money. And that was over 10 years ago. Can you imagine how bad it is now? We believe that instead of the taxpayer dollars being used to fund these programs, that the energy companies need to come out of their bottom line, not pass the cost on to the ratepayers or the taxpayers, and fund these subsidy programs. If this is something that would pass, I'm sure that the utility companies would think twice before they raise their rates again, because they would have to be the ones to make up the difference to the thousands upon thousands of people who are struggling to pay for this overpriced, life-sustaining commodity. The next bill is to reform the appliance insurance to guarantee that there is coverage or to issue a premium refund. How many of you may have signed up for an appliance insurance with your utility company, and when your appliance goes out, you call them up and they say, oh, I'm sorry, we don't cover that part. But you've been paying this appliance insurance for how many years? For over a decade. What happens to that money? It's a sham. We don't want any more fine print. Either you're going to guarantee coverage or you're not. And this is a bill that would require that. The other thing is that the next bill is that we were going to end lump sum bills tied to the equal payment plan and estimated bills to ensure fairness. Let me be clear. The equal payment plan is a wonderful plan. It is something that people can use so that they can gauge and budget and know what to expect and not to have a surprise bill. This bill does not stop the equal payment plan. Rather, it improves it. What happens in how they do equal payment plans at these utility companies is they calculate your use over a year, they divide it by 12, and then if you use more than what they calculated at the end of the year, they stick you with the lump sum bill. You might be eligible for a payment plan, but now you're paying, what the next equal payment plan increase is going to be in addition to the money to pay for whatever it is that you back owe. What we're saying to utility companies is let the equal payment plan be truly just that. If you calculate the use over 12 months, let it remain the same each and every single month. And at the end of the 12 months, you are not to stick homeowners with lump sum payments or put them on payment plans for anything that they may have used in excess, because you just heard the Reverend say that sometimes even while on vacation, you're getting high bills. And we have the largest utility company that has actually admitted before that they have overcharged customers and their meters have overcharged customers. But what is the recourse? The other part of that bill is that estimated bills to ensure fairness, okay? To exclude the lump sum payments around that. So what happens is maybe they weren't able to get access to the home to read the meter. And here you are just, paying your bill and you're thinking that everything is fine. What you didn't realize is that it was an estimated bill. Until one day they come and read the meter and they say, hey, you owe us about $5,000. And you're going, what? They might even dip into your account and take the money, because they do that as well. Okay? So this ensures fairness, that if you're doing an estimated bill, that you're not going to stick someone with the lump sum payment. This is putting people out, okay? Meanwhile, again, they're trading and profiting billions of dollars on Wall Street on the backs of hardworking people just trying to heat and cool their homes so their children can do their homework and they can cook food and do their laundry. The next bill protects customers from price gouging by third-party energy suppliers. You ever get a knock on the door and someone says that they're with your utility company, and then they say they guarantee you that they can lower your price, which is so enticing because this whole press conference is about the hardship that these high prices put people in. So you want to hear from this person who tells you that. And then you give them your bill and they switch you over, and maybe it lowers the price for about a month or two, and the next thing you know, it skyrockets. Well, guess what? To the third-party suppliers, we're coming for you too. What it is that you have to do is you are going to have to abide by the same rules as the energy companies, and you will not be able to charge any more than what they are allowed to charge, so that your service will be equal or less than what is the norm. The next is creating a tax on publicly traded electric and gas utilities to provide a credit to all customers. And this is a bill that I have in partnership with another legislator. And many of these bills are in partnerships with other legislators, including Assemblywoman Katz, Spade, Sumter, Berlina Reynolds Jackson. But This right here will be able to, just the way the anchor program works and how you have a property tax relief, it would work something similar like that as well, but this time from the energy companies. I need to say that none of these bills will be, if passed, will allow the energy companies to pass the expense onto the ratepayers. They have to take it out of their bottom line. Enough is enough. The corporate greed is terrible. Making billions of dollars on Wall Street while the government is funneling millions and millions of dollars to help offset the cost for your overpriced commodity stops today. And we are here as a coalition, and there are members of the coalition who aren't even here present today. We have New Jersey Working Families. We have New Jersey Citizen Action, the Housing and Community Development Network of New Jersey that represents over 250 community developers. So we are going to ask our residents to call up your legislators and tell them that you support Timberlake's package of bills to reduce the energy cost. That this package of bills is something that is real, it's something that is tangible, and what I don't like doing is addressing situations that call for chemotherapy with Tylenol. We are going directly to the issue, and these pieces of legislation attack the heart of the issue. So please reach out to our office, send Timberlake at njleg.org, or give us a call, because we would be more than happy to tell you how to get involved and how to advocate for these bills packages to pass. Our phone number is 973-395-1166. We are here and we are not stopping. We are going against some of the largest, most wealthy corporations in the state of New Jersey, and we're here to let the word out to the people, to let you know that you have people power. You have power with the utility companies, pun intended. But this monopoly and this exploitation that is going to create redlining has got to stop, and we can stop it if we pass this package of bills. There's also a few other bills that we have, but for sake of time, we're not going to read through exactly what those are, but we're not stopping here. Anything that is good for the people is what we are going to help push and promote to get the state of New Jersey to pass into law. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Senator Britnee Timberlake.